it's me, the Anti-Beauty Queen, and I am feeling more like myself. I am not so sick, and I am having a story time video. I've never done a story time video before. Sort of, I guess, with like my Fat Girl Diaries video. This hair, I didn't know what to do with it today, so I put it in like this little, I call it the I Dream of Jeannie, like ponytail thing, but I don't think it's registering very well on camera. I thought I would let you know about everything that happened to me over the course of this year since January, actually December 31st, because it happened on New Year's Eve. And that is the entire dramatic situation that is involved my ankle. I don't have any pictures of when it happened or during the process because, and I'll get into this shortly, but I am someone who, as much as I love bloody, gory horror movies, I can't deal with like real blood, bone, anything of the sort when it comes to real life. Like if there's a video online and it shows someone like breaking their arm, just don't show me, because I'll vomit and then I'll pass out. This video might be also a little long, so if you don't like those long kind of videos, I won't be upset if you press next. But if you want to do like your hair, your makeup, or you're just sitting down and you want some background noise, by all means, I've got a tale to tell. Alright, so without further ado, this is the entire history of my bum ankle. So let me paint a picture for you, if I will. Let me create the scene of what happened. I was getting ready for a New Year's Eve party at my house. I had friends coming over. It was perfect. It was on Saturday night. Anyway, so we had the weekend off. We were so excited. We were gonna do a giant party at our house, and I decided we gotta start the new year off right. I have to clean this place up. I have to dust everything that I've never even thought of dusting. We gotta get this place in tip-top shape. So my mom was over and Sugar Bear was downstairs, and he was doing all the stuff that I don't want to do, like clean the bathrooms, and I was in my bedroom, which, now that I think about it, I really don't even know why I was so concerned with cleaning our bedroom, because no one was going to be in it. I decided I needed to clean our bedroom. And little boo-boo over there is throwing a temper tantrum. And I decided I needed to clean the things that I don't typically clean. And we have paintings and we have pictures on this side that you can't see. And we have drawings. We have a few artists in our family. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to be a good wife. And I am going to climb up on my desk and dust the painting. So I have filmed videos from the point of view of my desk very, very early on in my channel. If you really want to go check it out, you can. And I have a big old desk in the side of my room, and that's kind of where I do all my makeup and my editing and stuff like that. So I climbed up on top of a chair, climbed up on top of a desk, and I proceeded to clean the painting. And I was wearing really baggy pajama pants at the time. So I was finished all up, and I went to go step on the chair to get back onto the ground, and my pant leg actually like hooked itself on the backing of the chair, and I ate shit. I ate shit so hard. I flew off the chair, flew off the desk, and slammed into the bed. And at first I was like, kind of like laying there on the ground going, I don't understand what just happened. How did I manage to do this? And it didn't hurt. Like, it didn't, the initial impact, yes, like I was like, oh my god, but it didn't feel like anything major had happened. That's when I decided to try to get up. And of course, because my fat ass fell on the ground, the entire house heard. And of course, my mom, Sugar Bear, were like, are you okay? And I was like, yes, 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 I'm fine. So I proceeded to get up, and I fell right back down like a big old sack of potatoes. And that's when I knew something was not right. And that's when my mom actually was able to get to the bedroom first, and she saw what I didn't see, and she was like, you need to go call 911 to Sugar Bear. So Sugar Bear came in, and sure enough, and this is where it's going to get a little gory and graphic, so if you can't handle it, skip ahead. There was blood everywhere. There was blood all over my bedroom floor, all over our white duvet, my bed. I mean, there was blood on the walls and on the ceiling. Like, it looked as if someone had been murdered. And I think because I was so shocked and in shock when I initially fell, I didn't even see it. And that's when he ripped off his shirt like the hero he is, and he wrapped my ankle. Not before, though, he saw what I, again, did not see, which was that my ankle bone was sticking out of my foot. So here I am, 30 years old, I have no bra on. I have literally the room of a child. I am someone who enjoys Disney everything. So just to give you like a little sneak peek of what paramedics were about to see, I mean, one day I'll do a bedroom haul. But you know, my bedroom is where I come to be me, and yes, it is juvenile in the sense that I have things like that. I have knickknacks. We have, like, we don't have posters on the wall, but we have pictures that represent who Sugar Bear and I are. So to anyone who doesn't know us, you probably walk into our bedroom and go, oh, this is a standard 12-year-old girl's bedroom. But no, a 30-year-old and her husband reside in here. Our entire house is not like this. We have a very mature house, but just our bedroom is where we like to be. Anyways, so here I am slumped on the floor. My foot is wrapped. I'm not wearing a bra. I'm not wearing clothes that were suitable to be seen in. And all I could think about as they called the paramedics, oh my God, these paramedics are going to see me without a bra on. That is what was flashing through my mind. They don't care. They have seen it all. But in my mind, I was like, my boobies are flopping, and I have no support right now, and I'm sure it will not be a pretty sight. So again, Sugar Bear being the man he is, he told me to be like, take it down about 5 notches and come back to reality. Your foot may or may not be broken, and you're worried about a bunch of people who you will never see again maybe seeing a nip. And if it really helps you out, he ripped off his shirt, like, because he's wearing layers, he ripped off his other shirt and he put it on me, and he's like, deal with it, you will be fine. So the paramedics come into the room, they scope things out, and they say, oh, this is not a situation where we can do this here. You're gonna have to come with us. And because I was immobile, I couldn't move. I had, and this is where it gets a little embarrassing, they had to, in a sense, strap me to a makeshift wheelchair. It was a wheelchair, but they had to make sure that they were able to get me from my bedroom down the stairs, on our deck that is covered in ice and snow, and then on the road, because this is winter and it's in Canada, so of course we had just had a snow blizzard and everything is icy and disgusting. They were very young, these two paramedics, and I can't get up, and they have to rig it so that the wheelchair can slide down the stairs by basically them holding me up. Now, if I were the size of, you know, a skinny little mini, they could just throw me on their back and be there and done with it. But because I'm a bigger gal, they had to heave-ho me, and I literally felt like the woman in What's Eating Giblet Grape when they have to put her in a piano box coffin and hoist her out of the fucking roof. That's what I felt like, and honestly, they were very, very, very mature, professional. They made me feel like I was light as a feather, but I saw the strain in their faces. They're like, no, it's good. No, we're good. And I was like, Jesus Christ. Like, could this be any worse? So here I am on the wheelchair, sitting in like the frigid cold of my driveway, and there's people like walking, because I live on a very busy busy subdivision. It's a very like to-do subdivision where everyone's always out and about, and not only are they trying to get me down the stairs and I'm having now people watch, they now have to lift my big old booty on top of a bed, like a stretcher. So here it goes, they put their back into it, put their knees into it, and hoist me up. Well, there are people literally like standing there on my street going, what do we do about this situation? Do we take pictures? Do we continue walking? What do we do? And I was like, just get going. By this point, that is when the pain officially set in, and I knew that it was not right. And I think the initial shock was over. When your body goes into shock, I mean, you don't feel anything because that's what your body's trying to achieve, and that was wearing off, and I was finally realizing, okay, I'm in pain. They hightailed it to the hospital, and I was immediately brought in and given a room, but it was a zoo. It was nuts. And at this point, it was about 4:30 in the afternoon, and the hospital was packed. People who were sick, people who had injured themselves. I mean, this was to the point where there was someone in the room next to me who had literally fallen off their roof trying to shovel snow off, who ended up becoming, in a sense, not paralyzed, but like broke so many different bones in his entire body that he was sitting like this, couldn't move. So I mean, the hospital was insane. And my mom hightailed it to the hospital, and Sugar Bear stayed here just so that he could clean up the blood, try to get it out of, you know, the walls and everything as best as he could. And we had a bunch of people coming, so he had to make sure that everyone was aware that the party was off. So we're sitting in the hospital bed, and I think everyone in the hospital, the staff-wise, just assumed it was a broken ankle. So yes, they had to get to it, but they weren't even aware that my ankle was exposed or that it was cut. They just assumed that the bone was broken. So they shipped me off to x-rays. They got me back, and they're like, you know, it seems pretty bad. We're gonna have to keep you here for a little bit longer. We're very busy. Please hold tight. Then they ship me off to get like a body scan, like an ankle scan, and then they take blood. And I mean, by this point, I've been laying in this bed with a dirty, bloody blanket on my foot. They're not even giving me anything for pain yet because they just assume that it's like sprained. They don't even think it's broken. I think at this point, they just thought that I was being over dramatic, and they were like, okay, let's deal with other people before we get to little miss, I sprained my ankle. Again, no nurse has checked the wound, and we've said, you know, like, it's cut, and they're thinking in their minds, yeah, it's cut, like, get real. So finally, after like 4 hours of us sitting in this hospital, my mom was like, this is it, we cannot, like, this is crazy, what is happening? So she goes and she marches off like a mama bear, and you know moms, like, when they are on a mission, it does not matter if their kids are 5, 25, 45, if your mom is in a situation where she needs to protect, she is going to march her way to solve this situation. She said, look, my daughter is literally sitting in a dirty, germ-infested shirt covering a wound that I haven't even been able to fully see, but her ankle's exposed. You need to do something with this immediately. So they came in, and finally the doctor said, well, we were just under the assumption that it was sprained. No, it was not sprained. So she quickly took it off, and she realized, oh my god, and she saw it, and then my mom saw it, and she was like, okay, I gotta go. My mom had to get up and physically leave or she'd be sick, and she said, like, I am so sorry, we've been so busy, we'll clean this right away, and I can already tell you need stitches. So this is where the fun part for me comes. They give me, I'm assuming, like a tranquilizer, and I am so beyond, like, you know when you watch those videos of people who have just come out of like getting their wisdom teeth? I was basically like that, and it knocked me on my ass within like 30 seconds of me taking this pill. And I remember being so hungry before that I was begging my mom, I'm like, Mom, will you please just go get me a large pepperoni? And she's like, I'm not bringing a pizza in the hospital, like, get a grip. So I remember taking the pill, and I instantly became stoned, and I was like, hey mom. She's like, what? And I said, do you think when we get out of here we can order a pizza? And she goes, yes. And I said, but then do you think maybe while we get the pizza you can take me through the drive-thru and I can get some nugs? And she goes, some what? And I'm like, some nugs. Some nuggets. And she's like, I am not taking you to get nuggets. They gave me drugs. They completely knocked me on my ass. And that is when they decided it's time to stitch it up. I never in my life as a child, I never broke anything. I never sprained anything. I mean, I, like, in a sense, like, rolled my ankle and it was wrapped for a day. But I mean, I never received stitches ever in my life. I never was an accident-prone kid. I don't do pain very well. My pain tolerance is like this, and I don't do well with blood. I don't do well with anything that's constricting. And here they are holding my foot and stitching up my ankle, and I swear to God, it was the worst. Even though they put the numbing cream on it, and even though I'm like fucking Willie Nelson stoned out of my face, I could still feel it. And what she had to do, she had to make sure that the bone wasn't, like, in a sense, hitting into another part of my foot. So she actually stuck her fingers in the wound and was pushing around inside my foot, and I can still feel it today. And even though they swear up and down, like, you know, you can't feel it, yes, you can feel it. So they stitched me up, and that was about 8 hours total that I was in the hospital. And they said, you know, like, I don't think you broke anything, but we're gonna send you on over to physiotherapy when you are feeling better. So for the next week, I am sitting down, I'm not doing anything, but literally laying in bed or the couch. I'm on crutches, and that is when, like, on a serious note, like, that's when depression starts to hit in. It's the new year. That is when you are so determined to do something like profound with your life, whether it be like changing something about yourself or changing something that you're doing. For me, it was like, I'm getting back on like the exercise kick. And I mean, like, since the wedding, I've gained weight. And that was like my go-to, oh my God, it's the new year, new me, I'm gonna head it up, I'm going to make sure that I am in fit shape. And when you are sitting and you are doing nothing but watching TV, yeah, it seems great for the first day. Not when it gets on to like the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th day. And because my body was so just mangled, on the like 5th day, I became so violently ill. I don't think I've ever been as sick as I was seriously that time. I was to the point where I was laying in bed. I had not consumed food, water in 3 days, and I'm just getting a little TMI. Like, my pee was the oddest color I've ever seen. Like, my body was so dehydrated, but because my throat was so, I've never felt the pain I've ever felt like in my throat. I couldn't physically swallow anything, and my body was so dehydrated. My foot is just a mess. And I think that was like the lowest point I could ever feel. Like, I just thought, like, oh my God, I have completely defeated my body. I have messed it up beyond recognition, and I don't even feel like I can do anything at this point. Sure enough, the reason why I became so violently ill was because my foot was incredibly infected, and it overnight ballooned to the size of like a football, and it was determined that one of the stitches came, in a sense, like unraveled, and bacteria got in it, and it just caused, again, utter mayhem. I went on antibiotics, I went to physio, and I was starting to do really well. This is like maybe a couple months in. It's starting to heal. Stitches are out. I mean, the scar is disgusting. I hate it. I know that no one really can like look at it because it's on my ankle, so if you're really looking for it, yeah, you're gonna see it. But for me, like, that's all I see. I always thought I had dainty, cute little ankles, cute little footsies, and now I just feel like my foot looks like Frankenstein's face, and it's just something that I'm gonna have to live with. And then this is where the story takes an unexpected turn. 3 weeks ago, Sugar Bear and I are in this bed, and no, we weren't doing that. We were in this bed, and Sugar Bear likes to do this thing where he like holds me down like this, and then I flail like a banshee, and I scream and I holler, and I try to get out of his death grip, and he gets the satisfaction of knowing that he's strong, and then I can't get out of his death grip, and we basically like are like 10-year-old boys wrestling. And that's exactly what we were doing. We were wrestling, I was flailing all over, and I watched myself a lot of Inside Edition, and they always have like tips and tricks for women to get out of the death grip of a male. And I was like, Inside Edition taught me that I can do this. And I went and I flailed my leg, and this is concrete. This is a concrete wall. There is stone, brick, whatever on the other side of this, and I smashed my ankle right here. Right here. I flailed, I hit it, and I just smashed my ankle against that, and I immediately dropped, and I immediately started dry heaving. I swear to God, that was the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life. I immediately started dry heaving. It was 1,000-fold times worse than the initial incident, and I'm screaming. Like, I'm not crying, I am screaming, and he's like, oh my God, what is happening right now? And I look down, and my ankle is shattered. Like, where the stitches are, the skin of my stitch was in a sense like split, and it was the scar tissue that had become like cracked open, and there was a huge defining like just mark against the scar, and it just immediately filled with blood. And he goes, are you kidding me? We wrapped it all up. I didn't do anything that day. 2 days in, I was like, okay, it's not even like remotely hurting that bad. I'm fine. Like, I cracked something, but I'm okay. My foot's not broken, but it was severely painful. Well, flash forward a few days later, and here I am, sick as a dog. I made those videos. You could hear the congestion. I was sick as a dog. And I mean, I still am, in a sense, getting over it. I have the symptoms of someone who probably had mono, probably had something that's way more worse than just an average cold. I would get up and immediately have to sit down. I would walk from the couch to the kitchen, and I would be out of breath. I would stand and do dishes, and I would be sweating. I mean, you saw in that video, I had to have a fan on me because I was sitting in my bedroom. We have central air, and I would be dying of just heat. And my mom came over, and she looked at me, and she said, like, your ankle's, again, the size of a football. You need to get back into Emerge. I went to Emerge at 10:30 at night. I did not get out of there until 7:30 the next morning. But I lucked out. There was a doctor there who was not a regular doctor, and he was a bone specialist. And he did ultrasounds, he did CT scans, he did x-rays, he did blood work, and he has determined that when I initially hurt my foot before, it was fractured, and the fractures were so minor that, yeah, they could have put my foot in a boot, but it really, like, it was so past its time because I was laying in the hospital for so long that, like, really, like, it wouldn't have really done any good. And it's none of the doctor's faults on the night of New Year's Eve. Like, I will tell you right now, the doctors did the best that they could do. The nurses were amazing for what was going on. Like, when I say the hospital on New Year's Eve was insane, the hospital was insane. Like, yes, to me, my injury was severe, but not when you compare it to the other people that were there. Like I said, a guy fell off a roof and broke like every bone in his body. So in a sense, I really did do a number of my foot, and as a result, my foot actually started to grow cartilage over the wound to heal itself in this span of January to September, and when I hit it, I cracked open the cartilage and I grew an infection underneath the cartilage. So needless to say, I had to go on more antibiotics, and I probably will have to go back now to physiotherapy. The reason why I'm making this video is because even when you hurt yourself and you don't think that you've done a number on your body, you probably did a number on your body. Whether it be if you cracked your ankle, maybe like, oh, my ribs are hurting, like what did I do? You need to go check it out. The one thing that I will say about myself is that I am a hypochondriac. I like to think that like I'm dying on a general basis because I think like every possible thing you could catch, I'll catch. Like I'm just like one of those people. But when it comes to something that's like physically like visible on my body, it takes me a really long time to psych myself out to go to the doctors. And that is what I was doing with my ankle. The minute I smashed it against the wall, I should have went to the hospital. Should have. Like, I was stupid. But I get very nervous. And as a result, it has pushed everything that I have done physically, like active-wise, out the window. This time last year, I could hike for 3 hours without stopping. Up cliffs, down cliffs, through a ravine, like every form of hiking you can imagine. And yeah, it kicked my ass, but I could do it. Now, I find that I even walk from my car to like the grocery store, or walk around the grocery store, or walk in around my office, and I'm out of breath physically. My ankle hurts all the time, even standing. I'm in a situation at work that I am constantly sitting, and I find that even the smallest bit of physical activity, it kills me now. And yes, did it make me feel defeated? Yes, did it make me feel like I've turned back into this slob that doesn't do anything? But what I have to tell myself is that I put my body through the ringer. I put my body through so much distress and so much, like, in a sense, agony that I need to physically just relax and recoup. And if that means taking, in a sense, a year off to make sure that I'm physically at my best, I have to. And I don't want anyone to feel discouraged if you become in a situation where you can't work out. Does that mean that I have to start eating better? Yes, absolutely, because I've been lacking on that. But I think, without getting too much into like diets and everything like that and food and whatever, this isn't a Fat Girl's Diary video. I just want everyone to realize that if you are put in a setback, don't let that affect your mental state. Your body will bounce back when it's ready. My body wasn't bouncing back, and I was forcing it to bounce back, and as a result, I got infections and hospital stays, and that's just because my foot didn't fully heal, and I have to let it heal. And a lot of people are saying, you know, like, oh, you're not exercising as much. Well, I can't right now. I can do what I can do, and if that's walking around the block, that's all I can do right now. If that means swimming in a pool and kind of doing exercises that way, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I can't go gung-ho and start biking around town and hiking and doing all these things. Like, I was to the point where I was on an elliptical every day for like an hour and a half, and there's no way I could do that right now. But I can't let that defeat me, and I can't let that put me in a physical state of feeling like I've failed or that I need to give up. That just means that I have to kind of start again and work my way up, and it'll give me a goal and it'll give me something to achieve to, but I can't put my body through stress when it's not ready. And the reason why I wanted to make this video is so that like you guys can realize that you're human. If you hurt yourself, you need to let your body heal. But that is the video. Hopefully you like this story time kind of thing. I know this video is going to be about like an hour long, so hopefully you were able to do your entire body of makeup and hair and picking out your wardrobe and maybe painting your nails and shaving every part of your body, because that's how long I talked for. But if you like these kind of videos, give me a thumbs up and I'll do more story time videos in the future. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, my username is antibeautyqueen. And if you're new to my channel, hello, hi, hello, hit that subscribe button. I try to put out new videos every single week. And until next time, I will catch you on the flippy flop. Bye.